Welcome to Your Vote, the St. Joseph News Press Now's coverage of the upcoming municipal election. I'm local government reporter Quinn Ritzdorf, and we are continuing our Q&A series, this time with the at-large council candidates, and with us is Brenda Blessing. Brenda, thank you for doing this.
Thank you, thank you.
We'll jump right in. The first question, I-229, a huge conversation. Of course, the council aren't the ones making the decision on this, but they do have input. So what would you want to be done with I-229?
Well, one, I want to make sure that everyone has a meeting, and there should be an open meeting so everybody can see all the alternatives that's going to happen. And feeling that I would like to see the bridge stay where it is, just make some improvements and so on, because it's a bypass around. I think we also need the status of being interstate. You know, and if we lose that, that's important. But I think it's already there. I hate to see routing traffic through downtown, but again, I think the people need, and the council needs to see what's going on, and I think there needs to be transparency in what we're doing.
Drug overdose deaths have more than doubled in just 2 years in town. What steps would you take to decrease, the drug problem in town?
Well, I think it's also making sure that monies go to those groups of people who are having those programs. That can be a big part of it, making sure that they have the money to equip it, for their housing, and to take care of the people. Yes, it is a problem in St. Joe, and I don't think it's a problem that's going to go away. It's a real issue, but it's a real issue in every city. St. Joe isn't alone with this issue.
The homeless population kind of tied to that, we have 100+ homeless individuals that live in town. What would you do to kind of support or help the homeless population?
Well, the thing with the homeless population is it's there, and again, it's not going away. And I think right now we're seeing more of the homeless when it's cold weather and they're seeking shelter. I think there's more homeless out there. I think that we need to, some of the people, if we can provide a place for them to have a permanent address, I think a lot of them would like to work because there's plenty of jobs all around St. Joe. But I think we need to work with the groups that are trying to help the homeless and help them get through what needs to be done.
Blight in vacant structures, there's a lot here in St. Joseph. What's your strategy to address blight?
Well, I think the thing is, it is an issue, and that is something that I ran on last time. I think it's something that we need to make sure that we have the funds to go in and with the buildings that need to be taken down, take them down. If some of them can be salvaged, like with the Homestead Act, some of the housing can be. If it can be saved and it can be sold to people who will take care of it and build it up, then I think we could have that program. But other than that, it is a problem. It is a problem.
How would you improve the city's relationship with the county and more specifically the school district?
Well, I guess I didn't know it needed to be improved. I think it's always to continue to have that conversation with the county and with the school district. Running for council is not on this school board. They have to understand that they're two separate things. We can't do a lot of things to fix St. Joe, but we can definitely support the school district. And I think just keeping those lines of communication and supporting them in what they want to do for the better of St. Joe.
Violent crimes increased last year, and there have already been a number of murders this year. What needs to be done to decrease violent crimes in town?
Well, I think it would help to put more police officers out on the streets. I mean, we are down, I think, 24 officers, and we just need to put more people out on the streets to be able to answer the calls and also be at those places to deter crime.
You just brought it up, not only the police department, though, staffing shortage, but a number of city departments, landfill, streets department, health department. How would you address the city's current staffing shortage in all their departments?
I think some of the staffing shortage might go with a fair wage. Some of the people are leaving these positions to go work someplace else for like $15, $20 an hour, better benefits. So I think we need to look at a fair wage for all people working in St. Joe, and also look at the benefits that we have for the people, in a way to attract people to stay, and also attract people to come and work.
In what way can you, as a city council member, increase pride in St. Joseph residents?
Well, I think also by taking an active part in your own neighborhoods where you live. I think it's important to show support for the beautification of groups, and for also programs to get people just to throw things away. And our thing is having containers, also working with the public schools of the kids not dropping their papers off when they leave school. So it's something that we ourselves can do by working with our own communities that we live in, and then also being out there and showing support for any citywide programs that we have coming up.
What would be the first thing you would spend the next installment of $19 million of American Rescue Plan Act funds on?
Well, it depends upon, hopefully the committee is going to be put together and decide how it's going to happen. I think a lot of the money, it seems like the first group of money went out. I think a lot of this money needs to come in, meaning that we need, firefighters need equipment, police need equipment, other groups, other departments in St. Joe, in the city, need equipment, and I think some of those things we can take care of. So I would see this next group of money staying in, not all of it, but some.
Just kind of my last question here. The city's population declined by 5,000 in the last 10 years. What's your strategy to grow the city's population?
Well, I think it all goes back to pride in St. Joe. I think it also goes back to Blight in St. Joe. Some of the questions that we had, I answered before. All of those issues will make a difference, I think, in having people stay in St. Joe and also come to St. Joe in our programs and what we're doing.
That's kind of all I had. Is there anything else you wanted to add or say?
No, I think that it's interesting that most of the candidates were all going to say the same thing, because we're all interested in the same thing. You know, we're interested in how the streets are and how things are around the schools. And I think also the big thing is pride in St. Joe. And I think we've got to instill that feeling that for all people in St. Joe, everyone matters in St. Joe, and that's important. I think a lot of people feel like that they're in their neighborhood or they don't matter. Everyone, every house, every person in St. Joe matters.